If I can, I'd like to go ahead and start our next session. And that is going to be Kristy Walding from Complete Hearing. She's here today.
What?
You might recognize her from some of the area billboards. I saw you in Eufaula, I think.
Really?
But she's here to speak on access to care, when to seek guidance for hearing care, how Complete Hearing can help you and your loved ones, maybe some payment, discuss like how to pay or, what options are out there. And then also just some personal cues on how to help with just dealing with hearing loss, 101 basics. So I'm going to hand this over to Kristy. Do you need a mic?
I don't think so. I think I can just talk about it. I have a loud voice. I talk to people all day. Thank you guys for listening to me this morning. I'm Kristy, and I'm a board-certified hearing specialist and the owner of Complete Hearing. A little bit about me first, just so you kind of have an idea of why I do what I do and why I love it. My sister was born when I was 6 years old. She was born with a profound hearing loss in both ears. So I can honestly say I think I've worked around hearing impaired people almost my whole entire life, and really do have a passion for it and trying to do whatever I can to help them. But no, I did text her last night when I knew I was coming to talk to you guys, and I know some of y'all might care for, people that have some hearing trouble, and, I just asked her to remind me mainly, I do need the mic. Am I talking loud enough? Okay. Sorry. Can you hear me better? Okay. But no, I asked my sister last night, what are some things that hearing people tend to forget about when talking to a hearing impaired person, and what, we all feel like we know how to communicate, but what are things that we just forget to do that would make your life easier as a hearing impaired person? And she said, mainly just to get her attention. So she said that is the biggest thing, and we all forget to do it, and I forget to do it too, even at work with my patients. I assume they can hear somewhat, and I'll just kind of walk in and start talking, and they miss the whole first half of everything I say. So, just keep that in mind, I think, when we're caring for our loved ones and our patients that have hearing trouble. Let's get their attention. Let's, when we walk into a room, they may not hear us walk in, they may not see us walk in, so let's just let them know that we're there, and they do need to see our face and our expressions. And that kind of leads into, she also said, and we all know this as well, but the masks have been horrible. They've been really hard to wear for all of us, but it's been really especially hard for our hearing impaired patients who depend on facial cues. And so, that was another thing that she said last night when we were talking, and she said just make sure people, remember that there are clear masks. There are masks that have a window for your mouth. So if you're at home caring for your loved one or for a patient, there are things that, where they can see your face and read your lips a little bit. It makes things a little easier. I want to talk a little bit about hearing devices. How much are they really? I know there's a big misconception about, my neighbor paid $10,000 for a set of hearing aids, and I just kind of laugh when I hear that and think, I don't know where they went, but that's a lot of money. So I think there's a little bit of a misconception there. I want to talk about that and how much they really cost, and maybe when we do need to encourage our loved ones to seek help and seek a hearing test. So research has shown that around the age 55 that we should probably go and get a baseline audiogram. Most general practitioners recommend this as well. And it's really valuable moving forward, just because if there are any other health issues that appear, like Meniere's disease or dizziness, vertigo, things like that, a lot of times an ENT doctor will use this baseline and compare things to help make a diagnosis. So I always recommend at around 55 that we all have a good baseline audiogram. Your insurance will usually cover that. If your insurance does not cover that, it's around $45 for a good diagnostic test. Encouraging our family members to go and get a baseline. My husband's here today, and he knows his father, my father-in-law, he was the worst. He was really hard to get to come up to the office, even though I do this for a living. But we had to work on him for quite some time, many years, and he, finally came up there and got some hearing devices, and he's done really well. But I do understand the pushback. A lot of times people are they feel like they're not having as much trouble as they really are. So, I don't have any secret way to tell you to get them in there, but, I've seen all kind of things like, oh, I'm going to have a hearing test, why don't you come too and have one too, it's free, or, little things like that, just to kind of encourage them to come in and have someone else look at it. There's obviously a lot of hearing devices that are out there on the internet, so I want to talk about that too real quick, because I am seeing a lot of patients that are spending $500, $1,000 on little amplifiers that are good for some people. Some people that works great, and they need to hear better, and it's maybe they're homebound and that's what they need. But I would just be a little cautious of that too, because with those you don't have any service on the back end. So I think that's kind of what we're seeing is like the first time they get stopped up, they're wasted. They're in the trash, and then we've wasted $500 on an amplifier. So I did want to mention that because they look appealing when you see an advertisement and you think, oh, that's such a good price, and but you're not thinking about maybe long term, as soon as they need servicing or they're not working. So trying not to get too off track here. This is way out of my norm. I don't do this normally, so I'm usually fine with the patient. But insurance plans, I think this is a big concern lately. So I have a lot of patients coming in asking, does my insurance pay for hearing aids? How much do they pay? How do I know if my insurance pays? It's so confusing. There's so many insurance plans out there. Blue Cross Blue Shield Advantage, United Healthcare, Federal Blue Cross. There's many that do have hearing aid coverage now that used to not provide any coverage several years ago. So things are really changing there. I wanted to talk about that because, again, $10,000, that's not accurate, first of all, for a set of hearing aids. So don't let that discourage anyone from coming to see us. But you may have an insurance policy that may help as well, and we would love to help you, navigate that process. And some private practices don't take hearing care coverage, and some do. So that's another thing. If you are making an appointment for your loved one or for yourself, maybe just go ahead and ask them right away if they take your Humana hearing coverage. They might take it for a wax removal or a hearing test, but they may not accept it for hearing aid coverage. So a few of the insurances, Humana seems to be really popular lately. They, lately have had a copay of about $699 per ear, and I'd like to mention that because that's pretty good compared to, again, people thinking that a hearing aid might be really, really expensive and thousands of dollars, and maybe that's why they haven't, sought care. So there's a lot of affordable options that are out there right now that used to not be available, and I just think that's really important to talk about, or call us and ask us about it. Let us go over that with you guys or your loved one. Let's see, there are many assistive listening devices that can help. I don't know how many here in this room are actually working with people that have hearing loss, but I think a lot of things that we tend to not maybe talk about in the office that we should a little bit more are little devices that can help our patients hear better, even at home, even if they're on hospice care, or they just need to hear a little bit better. They may already have hearing aids. There's things, these little devices can actually be added with their hearing aids, and they're not very expensive. And it just makes your life easier, and the caregiver, the nurse, the doctor, everyone's life a little bit easier. This little microphone, I really like this a lot. You can just kind of clip it on your shirt, whoever's speaking, and just activate this little button, and it goes straight, your voice and everything goes straight to the hearing aids. So there's no interference with background noise. Works great for restaurants. It works great for even just at home, just, even just with two people talking. It helps eliminate a lot of background noise, and it provides a really good direct signal. There's also a little TV box that, I don't do a whole lot of these, but every now and then, if I have someone with a severe or profound hearing loss, this actually works really well. It plugs in to the back of the TV and does the same thing. You can just kind of push a button and it activates everything through Bluetooth, and the TV just goes straight to the person's hearing aids. So there is like 20 other devices that work the same way with most hearing aids. But what do you do if your loved one doesn't have any hearing aids? So, there are some inexpensive options, like a pocket talker. It's kind of old school, I would call it, but it's a little box that your loved one can wear, and they have little earphones that it's really simple, very, very simple. And then you can just kind of speak into it, and it amplifies everything for them. So if they're, in a condition where they maybe can't come to the office and have a hearing test or a hearing device fitted, I would definitely recommend something like that for you guys, to make, to help hear a little bit better. As far as, trying to think, paying for hearing aids, again, hopefully with all these new insurance plans, we're actually helping a lot more people than we've ever been able to help because of the insurance policies. But Jacqueline did want me to talk a little bit about, what if we can't afford a hearing aid? What if, what's out there to help? So we offer financing. We work with Care Credit. I'm sure everybody's heard of Care Credit. And they'll do, interest-free financing for 12 months, same as cash. They'll go beyond that. If you're still working, and you need help with your hearing, there's state-funded programs available like vocational rehabilitation, and they will, they'll help you in any way they can. Try to get some hearing devices if you're still working. But most patients that I see are retired and elderly, but they are on a fixed income, and it is difficult sometimes to put them in a decent hearing device. But we will do whatever we can and try to work with your patient or family member to try to find something that's in their budget, because I really, like I said, I just think that it's so important to hear. It's, if you have, early dementia or just memory problems, hearing loss has been linked to all sorts of cognitive issues as well. So I do think it's really important to treat it. That's really all I have, you guys. I would love to answer any questions. Like I said, I think there's a lot of misconceptions about hearing aids and, maybe what they look like or what all they do now, but there are many different styles available and many different price ranges. And again, if you have anyone that needs help, just let us know, and we would love to just talk to them, sit down with them, and find something that would help make their life a little bit better. So, yes, ma'am.
Are you familiar with closed caption phones?
Do we have a phone?
Are you familiar with them?
Yes, ma'am. I brought one today. I'm glad you brought that up. So we do offer caption call phones, and they will, it's more like a relay service, the caption call. There is a person that is listening to the conversation. It's a little weird, but they can't hear both sides of the conversation, but there is someone on the other line that is literally typing the words that are being said for the hearing impaired patient. but it does display all the words on the screen, and I think that is wonderful because it gives our patients more independence, where they can make their own doctor's appointments, and they can actually, read the words for themselves and not miss anything. And those are free under the Alabama Disabilities Act. So to get one of those, you would just have to have a hearing test, and someone like me or a doctor, an ENT or an audiologist would certify the hearing loss and send that application in for the patient. And they would come to the house and set it up.
I've got one for my husband, just to be connected Friday, so I'm curious as to how it's going to work.
Yeah. Are they coming to set it up for you?
Well, actually, in a nursing home.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I've got many patients that use them, and some really do well. So I think there's a little bit of a lag sometimes, and that frustrates.
Well, actually, he's not going to get the typing part.
Okay.
He's not going to get the internet. He's just going to get the type, the talking.
Okay,
And
good.
we'll see how that works.
Yeah, I hope it works. Yeah. And I'm thankful that Caption Call and other phone companies like that are able to provide that at no charge for patients that really need to
There's a
communicate.
charge for the server, for the phone bill, there's a charge.
Okay, well, yeah, like through Verizon or, yeah.
Charge.
Yeah, there is a charge for that, but not for the actual like phone or the service. That you might have to pay your phone bill for the phone line. Yeah. What else? Does anybody have any questions for me? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I just have a comment, Kristy. I'm so glad I came today to find out where you are.
Oh.
My dad has not been for a hearing, update or anything since you left.
Aww.
And that's why. He absolutely adored you.
Thank you.
And I am
That just
so
makes my
grateful
day.
to know where you are, because guess what? This afternoon I'm gonna call and make an
Please
appointment for
do.
him.
That makes me feel so good.
And
Thank
he
you.
will go, because I'm gonna tell him Kristy is here. And he
Aw.
will go. So
Do you
thank
know?
you so much.
Yeah, I'm glad you told me. Do you know where we're located
I
now?
don't.
Okay, we're on West Main Street.
Okay.
It's in the old Dothan Diagnostic Building. I know most of y'all have probably been over there, maybe for a test or something, but yeah, we've been over there almost 2 years. So.
Great, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. No, it makes me feel good because I feel like I've just been up here
No, you
spouting out gibberish. So.
provide a service, and I'm looking
Okay.
forward to him getting a new hearing aid, because the one he's got is old,
Okay.
and it needs updating.
Well, and I'm glad you make that point too. So, like, how long does a hearing aid last? I would say the average life of a hearing aid is about 5 years. So that's just, the honest truth.
If you were able to purchase somewhere else, would you service it?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. There might be a charge. It just depends on what's wrong with it. But yeah, we will service almost any brand. We work with about 6 manufacturers. So we will work on, program, and service almost any brand. So it might just be something as simple as a cleaning and we can do it. So yes, ma'am.
If you're wearing a hearing aid, and if you get, if you get in rain, it gets sweaty, is it supposed to short out? I mean.
Not really. It's water resistant. So I always tell my patients rain is fine, sweat is fine. You just don't want to get a shower in it. You don't want to submerge it. But now if it's a patient have a few patients that are farmers that are outside all day, every day, just pouring sweat, yes, I see them a lot for maybe a short in their receiver or something like that. But most patients don't have any moisture issues anymore. They used to.
Could it be that they need another hearing aid?
It depends on how old it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if your hearing aid is within 5 years old, you should be able to have that repaired. I'm a firm believer in, hearing aids can be expensive. They don't have to be, but some people do pay a lot for their hearing aids, and I think you should try to get a good long life out of it. And we try to help you do that. If it needs to be fixed out of warranty, we can usually send it off and have it repaired. And it's when things start breaking down that, it might cost a lot for the actual repair, and it may not make sense. May be better to buy a new one at that point. But yeah, we try to keep them going as long as we can, for sure. So.
And what is the warranty?
It depends. If it's a lower end technology, like say it's a hearing aid for, $900. It might come with a 1-year warranty. Loss, damage, repair. As the price goes up and that you go into a better technology level, the warranty gets a little bit better. So the average warranty, I would say, is about 3 years. And it's pretty good warranty. It gives you an opportunity to, see how many times you're going to need a repair in that first 3 years, and then if you wanted to extend the warranty, you could. So, but if you lose it, it's also covered. Yes, ma'am.
Does your practice have the van?
We do. My husband's going to love that. That's his thing. Yes, so we have a van, and it has our logo and everything on it. It's a cute little blue van. It has the smallest wheels, though. It's so funny. But no, so we wanted to be a little different than a medical practice. We are not a medical practice. I am a hearing specialist, so I just kind of arranged my office in a very it's just kind of home-like. It has couches, not chairs. But our van is awesome because our patients that don't drive or depend on other people to bring them for an appointment, we will go and pick up their hearing aid, fix it, maybe on site, or we might bring it back to the office, fix it, and then we'll have somebody drop it back off. So as long as they're within town, had a guy the other day from Troy. I was like, no, I don't think so. But yeah, it's an awesome service too. So we would love to, help even more people and kind of bring awareness to that too, because I think people do struggle. I know a lot of my patients struggle getting up to the office and depending on others. So, yes, ma'am.
Hi. I want to share this with everybody. I have a friend that opted to learn sign languages instead of getting hearing aids. And they were walking in this particular park one morning, dark, and there was an animal came out. He didn't formally introduce himself, but I'm so thankful that this person looked and saw this critter, and he had flashbacks, and anyway, he's gotten over it, but the animal does not know anything about sign language. So, with that being said, I will refer him to you for this. And he heard he would not have looked at this particular animal that was not supposed to be there because he's dangerous, okay, to society. So be careful. You run into the woods, you may meet Mr. Right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Anything else? Yeah.
So, direction's hard to tell when you're deaf in one ear. A lot of people have, they're either in the right or the left. So what would you say to people who have hearing loss in one ear, how to overcome, you hear sirens, you can't tell where they're coming from. How would you address that?
Yeah, that's a great question. We see that a lot, just a sudden hearing loss on one side, up to profound sometimes with normal hearing on the other side. There's really not a fix there's things available like a cross aid system where we can put a microphone on the dead ear and kind of reroute sound to the better ear, but it still does not fix the directionality issue because it's rerouting the sound to the better ear. So you walk out in traffic and your dead ear is this way and you're looking for traffic, you can't tell where it's come from. So that really has not fixed that problem, and we just, I don't know, there's really no fix for that. We just say, we encourage their family members, just make sure you're in front of them and not on that dead side. But that cross system works. It works pretty well. We've done several of those lately. It's something to try for sure. Mm-hmm. Yes.
I have a 95-year-old customer that refuses to wear his current hearing aids, and he tells me that it just kind of throws his balance off. Is it maybe the type, maybe he needs to come back in and get them adjusted, or what are they actually experiencing?
It may be, in my experience, if it's a really tight fit and it makes their ears feel really stopped up, it may just be, throwing their balance off that way. It really doesn't, our hearing is closely related to, our balance, but hearing aids really shouldn't cause dizziness or balance issues. So, I'm really not sure what's going on, but yeah, in the past I've seen maybe just a really tight fitting ear mold or in the ear device that's just making them feel so stopped up. They really just, if they've already got balance issues anyway, maybe just kind of amplifies that a little bit. Yeah, I would say go back. Yeah, I would say go back and let his hearing provider know what's going on, and maybe they could do something different, try a different style, a different tip, maybe leave him a little bit more open if possible. Yeah, that's what I'd recommend. So, Yes, sir.
How long does an appointment take? Like if you're trying to prepare your parent, okay,
Yeah.
it's gonna be an hour long or
It
2 hours.
does, yes. I see about one patient every hour, and that doesn't sound like many patients during the day, but yeah, I can really only see about 8 in one day. And that's from start to finish. A hearing test may take 20 minutes depending on their age and how quick they are too. But yeah, and then we love to demo a set of hearing aids in the office and program them for that patient with their hearing loss. And they are more than welcome to walk around and walk outside. Sometimes we even tell them to go to lunch if they want and wear them. But yeah, it's a lot of information, so it takes usually about an hour or more. Another thing I was going to mention too is, Bluetooth technology and the wireless stuff that I was showing you guys earlier. There's most every hearing aid now is Bluetooth and can be wirelessly connected to a smartphone. So if your loved one has a hearing aid, maybe they don't operate a smartphone, but if you have a smartphone, you could pair it to your smartphone and help them with their volume control, help them with background noise suppression and things like that. And if they lost the hearing aid, you'd be able to find it from your phone. And so there's a lot of stuff out there that, that sometimes we don't always bring up due to the patient's age, or we don't want to overwhelm them. But for you guys that are actually helping take care of them, it might be something, y'all might have a question about. So. If that's it, I will be back there for a few minutes, so if y'all have any other questions, I'd love to answer them for you guys. Okay? Thank you.